Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review. Hey, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I'm trying to get to 70,000 subscribers by Comic-Con of this year. That's a couple of months from right now, so I think I can make it with your guys' help, obviously. So be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I really would appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get into today's review. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Marvel Select Classic Comic Book Captain America. Huge thank you to the folks over at Diamond Select for sending this out to me to take a look at. I really do appreciate it. I'm very excited about this figure because it's Captain America and I love Captain America. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Starting off with the packaging. He does come in this classic Diamond Select style packaging. They've been using this style of packaging for like 20 years or something at this point. It's kind of crazy that they haven't changed it. But yeah, you know, sometimes it kind of sucks because the packaging is so big and what's inside of the packaging doesn't necessarily justify, you know, the size of the packaging. But in this case, Steve Rogers comes with a bunch of accessories, which you could see through the window. On the side there, it says Captain America. Up front, we get the Captain America shield. On the side of the box, we get some classic comic book style Captain America artwork. On the back, we get a look at the figure in a couple of different poses. We get some information about Steve Rogers and we get some information on the people that worked on the actual figure. So that's always nice to see. But yeah, it's funny to me that they've been using the same style of packaging for like 20 years. The packaging is not collector friendly, so once you take the figure out, it's going straight into the trash, and you know, I'm okay with that because then I don't have to worry about like what I'm gonna do with the nice packaging. That's one benefit to non-collector friendly packaging, you know? Like once you take the figure out, you don't have to stress about like, oh, should I keep this? It's too nice, blah, blah, blah. Nah, you just throw it in the trash and enjoy the toy. But enough about the packaging. Let's go ahead and get Cap out and take a look. Ooh, okay, so here we have Captain America, and man, I've got to say right off the top, I'm very happy with the way this figure turned out. I think that Diamond Select did a really nice job on this. And you know what, to be honest with you, I was a little skeptical. I wasn't really sure how this figure would turn out. You know, their last classic comic book Captain America was pretty horrible. I own it. I bought it because I try to buy all the Captain America figures, but I couldn't even get myself to open it. It just looks so bad. The sculpting is horrible. The articulation is like non-existent. It's just a bad figure. So I wasn't really sure like what they were going to do on this update. And, you know, I saw some early leaked images and then we started to see some like official promo images. And then, you know, Zach from Diamond started to post pictures and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I just wasn't sure how excited to get about the figure. But now that I have it in hand, none of that shit matters because I love it. I think it turned out awesome. I have heard some people complain about the proportions and, you know, I could understand that. Like the legs do seem a little long, but aside from that, I think the figure looks amazing and I like the proportions. It does kind of have like a cartoony kind of like, you know, exaggerated in certain areas kind of look to it. It definitely reminds me of the old classic comics. So I love that. But yeah, man, this is a great figure and it may go down as like one of the best Captain America figures close to this scale, you know? As far as like complaints initially, I will say he doesn't have an upper thigh swivel, obviously, but you are able to swivel his thigh on the joint in there. And right out of the box, this was very, very tight. It was kind of making me nervous because it would feel like it was moving but not turning. So I don't know if I was putting pressure on the peg in there or what, but I put a little bit of oil on the joint and then now it's fine. And then there are some joints that are like a little loose, you know. That's kind of something that's a little common with Diamond. They kind of have a certain feel to them, and Captain America has that same feel. It doesn't feel like an import or super high quality. It feels fine, but they're just, you know, certain areas that I feel like kind of take away from the quality feel of it. Things like this, you know, a little bit of looseness up here, but nothing major, you know. And those are all things that if I wanted to, I could fix them, but they may not be that big of an issue. But I think people will notice certain things like that. But yeah, man, aside from those very small gripes, I think that Diamond absolutely killed it on this guy. I wasn't really sure what I was going to think about the black on the mask, but in person, I love it. I think it looks so cool. I do wish that it came with the head that didn't have that black effect, but I still think it looks awesome. And, you know, I'd hate to complain about the accessories because the stuff that he comes with is freaking, it's so dope because the accessories that he has allows you to give him a bunch of different looks. So that is so fucking cool, man. And then as far as the details go, I think that Diamond did a pretty good job on almost everything that we see here. Starting off at the head, I think this is a good looking Captain America head sculpt. The only thing I'm not really crazy about is the skin tone. I do feel like it's a little too pale, but aside from that, I think this head sculpt looks great. And the paint is all really well done here too. As you can see, the eyes are very crisp and clean. The A on the forehead looks nice. I just wish that the skin tone was just a little bit different. And then he does have that black effect on the mask, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like that, but once I saw it in person, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then he does have the wings on the side of the head, and these are very soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about them breaking, so that's very nice. But yeah, look at that. I think that's a good looking Captain America. And then moving down to the body, I love the way that they very subtly like incorporated the chainmail look into the upper body. It definitely reminds me of like older Captain America artwork, you know, where most of his upper body just kind of looked like a flat blue, but then you'd see these little like little areas that just kind of look like little hills or something like that, and it was kind of like supposed to indicate that he had like that he was wearing some type of armor or something, but it was very subtle. For the most part, the artwork just kind of looked flat, you know, and I think that Diamond Select captured that really well. As you could see, we just have like random little spots of very subtly sculpted chainmail on there. So that is really dope, man. I love this approach. And then he does have the star on the chest that looks really good. Down here we get the stripes that are mostly pretty clean, but you know, they're not super crisp all the way around. There are some tiny imperfections in there, like, you know, got a little bit of a chip on some of the red there. And then there are some lines that aren't super crisp and clean, but for the most part, it does look good. Here's a quick look at the shield. This shield looks nice. On the inside here, we have some metal detail, the straps. He's able to hold on to it with no problem, so that's cool. Not a whole lot going on right here on the legs or the waist. He does have a belt. You know, down here he does have his boots, and there's a little bit of a paint wash in the red areas on the figure, so that's cool. He does have pins in the knees and the elbows. At first, I thought he was not going to have that, which would have been nice, but you know, not a big deal. But yeah, man, I think this is a great looking figure. My favorite thing about it is the subtle chainmail sculpted detail on there. I think that's super cool. Oh, and then taking a look at the back, the star back here is very crisp and clean, so that's nice. He's got a hole there as if like, you know, you could put a stand in there, but he does not come with the stand. But yeah, man, I think this is a great looking figure. Nice looking head sculpt, some cool sculpting on the body, and the paintwork could be a little bit cleaner, but for the most part, mine looks pretty good. So I'm very happy with the details on him, and I think he looks awesome. And then for accessories, Captain America does come with a bunch of really cool stuff, including multiple sets of hands. So first off, we get a pair of fists, and then we have a set of open gripping hands. We get a set of saluting hands, and then we get one pointer finger for the right hand side. In addition to the masked head sculpt that we've already looked at, Captain America does come with two alternate heads, and this is the first one. As you could see, we get an unmasked Steve Rogers head. And I think this looks really good. For the most part, it's really well painted, but mine does have a small imperfection on the side of the mouth. There's like a little black dot, so I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna clean that up. But aside from that, everything looks really good. It's very well sculpted, the hair looks nice, the facial expression is fitting for the character. And I think the skin tone on this unmasked head looks a lot better than on the main head. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but I wish the main head had the same skin tone as this. But it looks really good. And for these interchangeable heads, you swap them out at the neck. So as you could see, you know, he does have his bare neck showing there. And then we do get this cowl down effect, which is always nice, and it does match the main masked head, so that's cool. And then for the final head sculpt, we get Captain America's first appearance look, and I love that they included this, and I think they did a pretty good job with it. Like, the face sculpt is really nice, most of the paint is pretty clean, but I'm not crazy about the skin tone again. I think the Diamond Select kind of struggles with skin tones. But it doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look all that good, especially when you're like zoomed in. From afar, you know, just like in the natural ways that you'll be handling the figure, it looks fine. I think in most pictures it's gonna look fine, but when I get in close with my camera here, I'm like, ugh, I don't know how much I like that skin tone. I think they could have done a little better. Actually, the color's okay. I just think that they went a little heavy with like the red wash or something. Whatever they have in there, they may have gone a little heavy with it. But I still think it's a great looking head sculpt. And like I said, I think it's awesome that they included the first appearance look with this figure. And to go along with that first appearance head sculpt, in addition to the circular shield, he also comes with his first appearance shield. And this looks really nice. I love this whole setup right here. It's awesome that they included these parts to basically give us a completely different version of Captain America. And the shield looks pretty nice too. The paint is okay on it. There are some areas where like the paint lines don't necessarily line up perfectly with the sculpted lines, but you could really only see that stuff when you're looking in real close. From afar, it does the job really well. And like I said, I just love that this setup is possible with this figure. It's so cool that they just made it to where, like, you know, you switch out a few parts and you have a whole different version of Captain America, and it looks really nice. So, and then he comes with these pieces that yet again allows you to completely change the look of the figure. As you can see here, we have this belt with the pouches. It's very easy to get that on there. It just unfastens in the back, and then he does have these straps so that he could hold the shield onto his back. And yeah, look at that, man. It's like a totally different figure from the previous two versions. And man, I love the way they did the shield setup. As you could see, the shield has like this plate in the back of it, and it's removable, so you could just take that out and then you plug this onto the back of the figure when he has the straps on. And yeah, this is awesome, especially for the first appearance one, because when you have it on the figure, you can rotate it however you need it to, you know, be positioned. So that is really cool. And, you know, for this one here, I have the hand already in there. I just kind of wanted to show you how easy it is to get onto the figure. It's always best to put the hand piece on there first, and then take the shield from the back there, and then you can just plug it into that little plate, and there you go. So yeah, I love the way they did the shield. It's very easy to deal with. A lot of times I feel like companies struggle with how to do the shield on Captain America figures. You know, with import stuff, it's always too complicated. And with Hasbro stuff, they always have that weird clip that breaks. I love the way that Diamond did it here. It's really easy to deal with, and, you know, makes it to where you could put the shield onto his back with no problem, or put it onto his arm with no problem, and then change the position if necessary. So yeah, I think they killed it with the shields, and I just love the 3 different looks that you could give for the figure. Having those options is a lot of fun, you know? So I know a lot of people are going to be curious as to whether or not this Captain America will fit in with their Marvel Legends figures, and I'm here to say that no, I don't think that it will. As you can see, alongside the Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary Thor and Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary Iron Man, Captain America is just a little too big. Now, you could probably pose them in a certain way or position like the figures in a way to where you could maybe fudge it, but you know, standing right next to each other, Captain America is just a little too big. But man, I would love to see Diamond Select do a classic Thor and a classic Iron Man like this to go along with this Captain America. They've already done a classic Thor, but it's not very good. And I don't know if they've done this version of Iron Man. But if this Captain America is any indication of what they're capable of doing now, like all the time, then I think that they would kill it if they ever made a Thor and or Iron Man. But anyways, yeah, as you can see, he's not really going to fit in with Marvel Legends. But he does look awesome alongside other Marvel Select figures. Here we have him with the Marvel Select Vision and the Marvel Select Silver Centurion Iron Man. I don't know if that's how you say it. I always say it wrong, but I love both of these figures. I have reviews for them, so you guys could check that out. But yeah, look how crazy this Iron Man is. Imagine this in like the classic look. I think that Marvel Select would kill it. They have a War Machine on the way, and I cannot wait for that figure. So yeah, I would like to see them do some more Marvel characters. I know they could only do so many a year, but it seems like these days, whenever they do one, like they've been killing it. And then here we have him alongside the Marvel Select Classic Comic Spider-Man and the Marvel Select Thor. I love this Thor figure. It's one of the best like sculpted Thors ever released. It just doesn't have great articulation. But I would love to see like, you know, Marvel Select's current articulation setup on a Thor. That'd be dope. And this Spider-Man is still awesome. He's super old at this point, but that's a great figure. And this Captain America may end up being like the centerpiece for my whole Captain America shelf. But here he is alongside the Marvel Legends Hasbro First Appearance Captain America and the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Series 1 Captain America. And then next we have him alongside two of my all-time favorite Captain Americas. On the left, we have the Marvel Legends Toy Biz Captain America. And on the right, we have the 20th anniversary Marvel Legends Captain America with the custom head sculpt from Casting Cave. And out of the three, man, I don't know which one is my favorite. Like, I'm always going to love the face-off one. I don't care what anybody says. That thing is incredible, and it's got sentimental value for me. So if I had to get rid of all of my figures, I'd probably hold on to face-off Captain America. But I don't know if he's like the best out of the three. But man, it's nice to be a Captain America fan and have so many options for great Captain America figures. And then here he is alongside the Marvel Legends animated series Spider-Man and the Jada Toys Street Fighter Dalsim. And then here we have him alongside the NECA, The Boys, Homelander, and NECA, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Return to New York, Leonardo. And then, of course, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. And to get him in here with some more 7-inch scale figures, here we have him alongside the NECA Universal Monsters Frankenstein and the NECA Phantom. And then for the final size comparison, we'll get him in here with some bigger Marvel Select figures. On the left, we have the Marvel Select Beta Ray Bill with a custom cape from Harker Customs. And on the right, we have the Marvel Select Immortal Hulk with the modified head sculpt. And these two are some of my favorite Marvel Select figures. They killed it on both of these. They always do a good job with big characters. And it's nice to see them put like as much effort as they did into the bigger characters into something like Captain America. And man, the articulation on Captain America is very impressive, especially for a Marvel Select figure. I feel like a lot of their stuff doesn't necessarily have the amount of articulation that I would like to see on them. And you know, I've heard it's because of the way they have their license set up or something. They're only allowed to put like a certain amount of articulation. I don't know if that's true, but whatever the case is, a lot of their figures are lacking in articulation. But that is not the case with Captain America. I feel like he may be one of the most articulated Marvel Select figures that we've ever seen. They did a lot of great stuff here, so I'm really happy with it. And they even did something on him that I wish that we would see on every Captain America figure, and that's putting the diaphragm cut right here where the blue chainmail meets the stripes. Marvel Legends just started doing that with their most recent Ultimate Captain America. Before that, they've always done like an ab crunch, which is cool too because, you know, it lines up with the stripes, so that's nice. But yeah, I think that every Captain America figure needs to have this. Even the Mafex figure that's coming out, like it has a diaphragm cut, but they didn't do it right where the stripes meet the chainmail. I don't know why. They have it like in a weird spot, but yeah, man, I love that Diamond Select did that. And then also, you know, the head and neck has more articulation, and I think that that's because of the, you know, interchangeable neck feature, but as a byproduct of that, we get some more articulation, and he's a whole lot of fun to play with, so that's definitely priority. But let's go ahead and take a look, starting off at the head and neck. Like I mentioned, he kind of has like a import figure set up here because he has movement at the lower neck and at the upper neck. So using both of those, we get some really nice tilt action. Look at that. He's able to look, oh man, he's able to look up a really good amount. Usually you're not able to get figures to look up that much without a hinge on the top side. He doesn't have a hinge, but we still get some really good range. And then he's able to look down to right there. Boom, look at that. And then obviously he can look side to side. So really good articulation in the head and the neck area. And then as I mentioned before, he does have a diaphragm cut. So you're able to twist on that diaphragm cut, and then you could crunch forward. That's one thing when it comes to the diaphragm cuts on Diamond Select. I feel like they always kind of limit it a little bit. Usually I pop them apart and try to increase the articulation, but I don't know if I need to do that on Captain America. I think I may be okay with how much this moves. We'll see. If I end up modifying it, I'll make a short video or something. But right out of the box, he's able to go forward to about right there. Then it goes back to about right there. And then we get some nice like side to side, which is awesome. And yeah, the diaphragm cut just really like lends itself to like more dynamic poses and stuff. So yeah, that's really good. And then, you know, the whole head and neck setup really helps out with the overall torso movement. It kind of just gives the illusion that more is going on there, you know. So pretty good stuff at the torso. And then he does have a waist swivel, which I don't mind a waist swivel on Captain America because he has the belt and stuff, so it's well hidden. And then for the arms, he does have ball joints, so they do go all the way around. No butterfly joints. I don't think any Diamond Select figure has butterfly joints on. I don't know if I've seen that before. But, you know, because of the head and neck area, you can kind of give the illusion that his arms are getting in front of him more than they really are, you know? So that's definitely nice. Look at that. Boom. So good stuff there. Yeah, even without butterfly joints, I'm really happy with the arms and stuff. I think they work really well. And then he does have upper bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows that get a pretty good bend. The glove doesn't really get in the way too much, but you will get some paint rub right in there if you're not careful. Like a little bit of the red will go onto the white, so you want to be careful there. But it does bend a really good amount. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. And then for the legs, this is one area that I was kind of concerned with because, you know, obviously he does not have any upper thigh swivel. And, you know, I'm okay with that as long as there's enough movement in here. And thankfully, in this case, I think there is. So as you could see, we do get some pretty decent movement out of that. It does rotate a good amount. I know Diamond Select doesn't really do it, but I think a drop down hip would have helped this out too, you know. But as it is right now, like, this is perfectly fine in my opinion. I mean, obviously you'd prefer a thigh swivel or maybe some, you know, additional piece on the inside to allow it to swivel more, or maybe like some, like this is another area where people could possibly like modify it. You just cut away a little bit from right there and then you can increase the movement. But again, you may not need to. Like, that's not too bad, right? Let me know in the comments. I know this is not an ideal setup, but sometimes it works fine, you know? Like, I'm good with this, to be honest with you. And then again, like, I think a drop down hip would have helped like bring his leg up a little bit more. As it is right now, it could only go up to about right there. It could come out to the side a really good amount though, so you could definitely get some good side kicks going. Boom. Yeah, so like that's not too bad, right? Bam. Can't really go back. Oh, it goes back to about right there. Yeah, but I really don't mind the legs. I thought I was gonna be all pissed off about it, but I think it's fine. Get both of his legs in front of him for like sitting down or whatever. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's the best thing ever. Obviously, there's better ways to do it, but you know, it's not too bad. This is one area that I was concerned with, and it turns out that it's not an issue at all. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. And then he does have double jointed knees. They get a good bend. And then he does have a boot swivel, and the foot is able to go forward to about right there, although it is a little tight. Then it comes up to right there, and then he does have rocking ankles. So yeah, man, like I said, the articulation on this guy is awesome. They did some great stuff here that I really want to see on all my Captain America figures. That being the diaphragm cut and the head and neck setup like this. Like, you know, his character design definitely, like, it makes sense to put those points of articulation in there because it won't break up the design whatsoever. So yeah, I really hope that we see that on all Captain America figures going forward. But man, I've got to say, I think Diamond Select definitely killed it with the articulation on this Captain America. It's definitely fun to pose around, and he has a lot of good stuff going on. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, man, I love this figure. No, it's not perfect. It definitely has its flaws. But I think Diamond Select absolutely killed it. And really, they kind of outdid themselves. I feel like this figure is definitely a step above what they typically release. And, you know, as a Captain America fan, he's one of my favorite characters. I consider myself a Cap guy. I wanted to like this figure. When I first saw the promo images, I wanted to get excited, but I was just kind of like hesitant to get my hopes up because, you know, Diamond Select is kind of inconsistent. Like, they put out some bangers sometimes, and that's one reason why I'm always rooting for them. Like, they don't do good figures with every single release, but when they do a good figure, it's freaking awesome and unbeatable for the price. Like, Beta Ray Bill is a banger. Titanium Man, banger. Hulk, banger. All of those are such great figures, and, you know, they're like $35 or something. I don't know if you could find a better Hulk period, let alone for $35. So, you know, I'm always rooting for them, but it's not like they have a perfect track record. So when it came to this Captain America, I just wasn't sure, you know. I didn't want to get my hopes up, and now that I have it in hand, I'm just so happy that they did a good job on this guy. I love it. I think it's such a great Captain America figure. I love the way that you could represent 3 different looks flawlessly for Captain America. You know, you have the classic version of Cap, and then you could do like his first appearance version, which I feel like that doesn't get enough action figure love. We really need some more first appearance Captain Americas. Hopefully Hasbro does one soon. They did one back in the day, but they really need to update it. But I love that Diamond Select incorporated that into this version of Captain America. I love the unmasked head sculpt. I think it's a great looking Steve Rogers. I like the belt that you could add on with the pouches, the straps for the shield. All of that is so cool. And the articulation on this guy is really good too. He's got double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, all that good stuff. I love the diaphragm cut. I like the extra articulation that we get from the interchangeable neck situation. I was a little concerned with the upper thigh hip area, but I think it's perfectly fine, you know? I don't think I'm gonna even modify it, which was my plan initially, but now that I have it in hand and I see how much it moves, I don't think I need to. I think I'm good where it's at. So yeah, the figure has some great articulation, and although it's not perfect, it's definitely fun to play with. I love the way that they did the shield. They did a great job of keeping it simple and functional. And although I love this figure, it's definitely not perfect. There are some things that could have been done better. First off, some of the joints are a little on the loose side. It's not like over the top. It's not like this figure is going to just topple over, or, you know, his limbs are just flopping around, but there are some joints that I feel should have been a little bit tighter, and some of the paint work isn't quite as clean as I would like to see. You know, there are some paint imperfections here and there, nothing major on this copy, but this is actually my second copy. Diamond Select sent me one before, and the star was all messed up, like the paint was unacceptable, so I let them know. They sent me a replacement. So if you're out there trying to buy this figure, make sure you look it over very closely, make sure there's no paint imperfections that you can't live with. There's always going to be something, but, you know, make sure that most of it is clean. On this figure, most of it is clean, but there are some areas that could have been a little bit cleaner, you know. But aside from that, I don't really have any big complaints. I love this figure. I think they absolutely killed it. And like I said before, I'm just really happy that they gave us a dope Captain America. I would love to see them revisit some other classic Marvel characters like Iron Man and Thor and whoever else they want to do, because in my opinion right now, Marvel Select is kind of on a roll when it comes to Marvel characters. Like in the last 2 years, they've given us Vision, Iron Man, Better Ray Bill, Captain America, Crimson Dynamo, Titanium Man, if I haven't said that already. So yeah, they've had a nice little streak going, so hopefully they keep it up. But man, this thing is awesome. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.